So the 2024 NBA draft has been widely criticized as a weak draft. I see that at the front end of the draft, but I'm not seeing that, Sundo, around where the Suns are drafting. The 22 range is full of players that I think could really help the Suns right away. We've talked about Kyle Filipowski. We've talked about Tyler Kolek. On live streams, we've talked about a lot of players, but then you brought this guy to my attention. Tyler Smith played for the G League Ignite. Just wow.
Out of all the prospects that we have covered or looked at, this kid's my favorite. Absolutely my favorite. And, bro, it's just like, like I said, when you just watch players and you just have that eye test and your eyes tell you this is really good to see and this is a really good ball player, like that's just what I see. Sorry, that's really all I can go to. Yes, source, trust me, bro, right? So he's 6'9" without shoes, 223 pounds, 7'1" wingspan with a 8'9" standing reach. The standing reach may not impress a lot of people. The wingspan I absolutely love. The one thing that me and you kind of spat over and argued about was the weight. 223 pounds, playing 4 or maybe 5 in some situations. He'll probably get pushed around. But man, once again, watch the tape. Athletic, beautiful, beautiful jump shot. Unlike Kyle Filipowski, who we talked about a few videos ago, he can actually create shots for himself. He's got a great fadeaway game, as you guys will see in the highlights. I absolutely love this kid. I believe that he can play out of structure as well in structure. And as you said, Gabe, it's just an immediate value pick. He can definitely come in and impact his team playing 15 minutes a game easily.
I'm excited about him because his game seems so complete, and he's been doing it at the G League level, so it's perhaps a little bit of a step up from college. Obviously, he doesn't have crazy handles, but for his size, they're actually pretty nice. He's a good, willing passer, but that's not necessarily his calling card. It's everything else, though. I think he probably has the most beautiful jumper we've seen. Lefties often do, but he's also explosive at the rim. It's not like you're just getting some guy who's going to stay out at the three-point line and never. No, it's both. You're getting the best of both worlds. That fits with Bud. That's his style of center. Someone that can do both. I think he needs to gain 15, 20 pounds, and I think he can do that over the next couple of seasons. They'll get him on a regimen. They'll get him eating enough protein to gain some weight, and once he gets there, oh my God. Now, I tried to rack my brain of who does he look like when I'm watching him play, because you mentioned the eye test, he jumps off the screen at you. And first I thought, like, because of the left-handed and his smoothness and ability to get to the rim and shoot, Josh Smith, but skinny, if you remember him from the Hawks. But the other one that I really think I've landed on, I think his ceiling is Chris Bosh. He may never reach that, but Chris Bosh was incredible for the Raptors, and he was very selfless, so he took a third fiddle position with the Heatles. I think if this kid is available, you have to say positions be damned. We're taking a 4, which was not really on the bingo card.
Like, think about the plan that the Suns have laid forward, right? They want to get an athletic wing. They want to get a point guard. They want to get a backup big to basically replace Eubanks. I think this gets you that backup big that you can replace Eubanks with or play behind Eubanks, or if the situation calls for you need a stretch 5 and not play Eubanks, that does that. I think you're going to get a point guard in the veteran form, like we'll be talking about in our stream coming up. Like, I think you can get yourself a Holiday Westbrook campaign type backup point guard and be fine. But Gabe, I mean, at this point, what has James Jones not done in the NBA draft? And yes, we do praise him for the Cam Johnson pick now. At the time, what have we always said? He never took the best player available. He always drafted for need and want, not the best player. If this player is there at 22, this is a chance to get the best player. He's not only good at offense, because we already talked about offense. The kid is athletic. He can run the floor, plays great defense, in my opinion, gets blocks, is always in good position. I haven't seen him be out of position. Now, as you mentioned, he's going to have to gain weight guarding bigger players in the NBA. But once he does that, I don't think he'll get beat on defense, especially with his athleticism. Now, where he will get beat on defense is probably in the pick and roll. The tape says his pick and roll defense isn't the greatest, so he'll have to work on that. And yes, immediately coming in, he probably won't be the best defender, but I think that can be developed. In the meantime, his athleticism is definitely going to make up for a lot of mishaps.
His shot blocking is what seals the deal for me. His offense is so fun and impressive. Like the type of shooter that it doesn't matter where they're at on the court. I'm not necessarily talking deep. I'm talking 3 levels. He can hit from anywhere around the 3-point line. But if he catches the ball at 17 feet, if he catches it at 15 feet, it's automatic. He doesn't have to think twice. He's letting it fly, and he knows it's likely going in. And that's just such a fun skill to have at 6'11", spacing the floor for the Suns' big 3. Something that Jusuf Nurkic, even our guy Udoka, and of course, Drew Eubanks could and will never do, which is take that extra defender away from them and keep them honest.
Imagine playing him at the 4 and letting KD play 3. You know what I mean? Like, that's something we've always wanted. That's something that we talked about even with Bol on this team. Hey, man, play him at the 4, play KD at the 3. I think a player like this will allow that to happen. I think as the season progresses, if we do draft him, he will develop into that role pretty well. So, I mean, if we get him, I will be the most excited person in the Suns community, in my opinion, if we draft this kid. Absolutely. This is my favorite of all the prospects that we have looked at. And I feel like it's a very developable piece that will be essential to the Suns in the coming years.